So first up to the stage, can I welcome Andrea?
Hello, everybody. By the way, Ben broke a rib, unfortunately, 2 days ago, so that's why he's not able to join us today. I'm going straight to the presentation. I just want to set a little bit the stage for what I think are key drivers for programmatic buying and programmatic trading, and then I want to do it pretty fast to really move to what are the use cases and why I believe and at Google believes programmatic is going to really win. And I think with Joel we agree that the numbers that were just broadcasted are a little bit on the conservative side, but we will discuss also that later. What are the key elements that bring us to programmatic, and I would claim programmatic everywhere? We are in a multi-screen environment, and we will detail it in a second. Audience is becoming really the currency, and I'm very glad that from what I heard, it is really at the core of your thoughts. It's becoming more and more complicated. Brand online is really the opportunity. It might surprise you, but online world didn't really develop out of brand at the beginning, and Google was a part of it. Now we are at the stage where brand is really clear a growth opportunity. And programmatic trading is really the mean by which these three elements can really coexist, develop, in a world that hopefully is going to be much simpler than what we are experiencing today. And simplicity, in our view, and scalability is always the pattern towards profits, of course. Multi-screen world, there are a few statistics. I don't want to spend too much time, as I was saying, but it's really true that while 19% of our media interaction are still based on screens, and this is not really different from the old world, sessions and attention occupied by the users on these different screens is really decreasing significantly, and there are a lot of connection points with the end user that really disperse in a way on different screens. That is a challenge because if yesterday we were trying to connect with the audience with tools that enabled us to understand their attitude, their interests, their behavior, these tools are quickly becoming outdated if we saw what we just saw before. We don't yet, as technology providers, nor as an industry, have a common view of the user, which is ultimately the the currency for all advertising business, because the user is dispersed in different means, in different screens. And all our efforts as a technology provider are exactly going in that direction, because we understand that audience, of course, is a great currency for advertising. To give you a couple of statistics, in the US, 92% of agencies buy with some audience element in their targeting campaigns. And there is already 30% of media spend, more or less equivalent to 4 billion in the US, that is traded with audience elements. So there is value on that, and I have partners of myself in Italy that are using and leveraging audience data very widely, and they see click-through rate increases. In a way, those are performance indicator that are increasing by 100% versus the baseline. So there is value there. It's becoming more complex. Third thing, branding. Online didn't really come up with the branding money on it. Now we have the technology to really expand the branding, the online advertising leveraging branding. And that really declines in three things. Having more precise targeting, we just discussed about audience, but we could also discuss about what kind of content affinity we have. What kind of geographic and time and geography affinity we have with the audience. And we can really granular with our technology in these days on that. Formats. Incredibly enough, internet was historically not good enough in terms of format and engagement and engaging formats, at least at scale. So to build up a good branding campaigns, it would take a lot of trafficking people that were paid a lot of money, more than executives sometimes. They were really sort of a rare currency. And finally, we have technology to support this shift. The last one is measuring effectiveness. And again, those are three things that, if you think about it, are differential of online business versus all other media. And really, technology is working to deliver on all these three steps. Talking a little bit more about measurement, we understood at Google that if you take off risks in terms of performance, even in branding, to buyers, they will appreciate it in a way that your CPMs, your maximization of revenues, works in the right way. YouTube is a fantastic example of that. We introduced TrueView. It's a new format whereby like direct mailing campaigns, whereby if you pay only if the user looks at your creative until the end. What we discovered is that if we take off the risk to the buyer, off the buyer to take the risk of performance, actually the eCPM that we receive on YouTube is much higher, and they are willing to pay for the insurance. So by now, again, multi-screen, audience is king, but it's, and branding is becoming the next wave of growth. All these three elements are becoming increasingly complex to master, and that's why programmatic buying and programmatic trading is such a key new way of transacting, buying and selling inventory, because in a way it's simplifying these processes, and by simplifying these processes is opening up new opportunities that publisher might not have considered before. And we will be more specific, and I want to spend most of the time I have left on this specific topic. So that's why programmatic is becoming a hot topic. Here you see a slide with the Google search trends, and you see that real-time bidding really came first at the beginning of 2010 and grew fast. But now we are talking more about, well, more not, but programmatic is a search term that is coming up next. It's not just an industry hype. There is money involved. Those are the projections that are coming from eMarketer US, so it's relative to US, and I put a little bit of flags to understand where we stand in terms of programmatic versus total. 2013, we are at around 20% for US. UK is also very close. In Italy, Spain, and France, we are late, 2 years late, more or less, at around 8%. What's interesting is that if you take these projections year over year, you see that there is a beginning of hockey stick, and then it goes down, because you never understand what is the potential of the next year. I'm sure if the next year they run the same analysis, the hockey stick will keep going up. And the reason why this is important, and why it's important, you'll see there a lot of good brand names from the sell side. There are a lot of good brand names on the buy side, Kimberly-Clark, Kellogg's, that are investing huge amount of money to creating their own trading desk and profit of this new way of transacting inventory. The vision that we have is that you should be able to cut deals Technology, in this case programmatic technology, should be able to do the rest, the heavy lifting. It's really not the business of the publisher nor the business of the agencies to deal with all the operations that are connected with transacting online inventory. It's really a lack of technology and a lack of still good solutions from a technology perspective if it is still the case. To give you a parameter or an example, it is estimated that in online, for every dollar spent, you probably know this statistic, but for every dollar spent, 28% goes wasted in operating costs. If you take the same dollar spent on TV, that goes down to 2%. So you understand that there is a huge gap that really, in a way, is hampering the opportunities that you might have in terms of monetization. Do you read this slide? Is it from the back? I can comment it, but this is the 4 minutes I have left, and I want to comment this slide. So, what is the real value for a publisher in programmatic? Traditionally, so in the past, it has been to extend the reach of your inventory to uncharted territory, to places and advertisers that your sales force couldn't afford to serve. And I give you 3 examples of that. Imagine you are an automotive magazine. You have an automotive specialized sales force. Probably you cannot go to sell your inventory to the small auto parts mom and dad repair mechanic that you have at the next corner. But probably that is relevant to the audience that you have on the site. Second one, and this is, by the way, the gray area that you see on the right-hand side. Second use case, you might have an audience that is not only national. You might actually develop an audience internationally. You need to monetize, or you want to monetize and to finance that development internationally. You go in that direction with programmatic, because there is no investment involved at the beginning, and probably you will get informed about strategy that you want to put in place next in terms of monetization with direct sales force. The third case is that probably the user that is visiting your site is also interested in traveling that summer. And so why not hosting some ads that you probably cannot, again, sell directly with your sales force on your site for a vertical that you don't cover. That is what happened until yesterday, and I believe what is still happening, because the cost of serving these ads and the cost associated to getting this extra money is very limited, again. What is really changing in programmatic is the middle tier, the light green area that you see there. Kellogg's, Kimberly-Clark's, others are all investing in being able to do branding campaigns at scale with premium publisher or publisher they can trust. Doing the heavy lifting and making sure that this happens at scale is important both for them and for you. And that is really the next opportunity. That's where we see growth, and that's where really you are able to do more what you were doing before, simply because the tools enable you to reach more advertisers that have the same branding needs that your traditional advertisers. You keep control of the relationship with these advertisers, and you make sure that they target your inventory at your own rules. And again, there is this targeting of your inventory at your own rules is really what matters here. There is a misinterpretation that programmatic buying in some ways not under control. No, you have tools that enable you to be totally under control of what are the pools of demand that you want to insist on your inventory. And the numbers, I have 3 seconds left, so the numbers show that really that these next opportunities are coming, and we saw the numbers before, are coming cheap in terms of costs. And simplification really enables you to increase the profits and increase the marginality of your next dollar acquired. That's it. That's all I wanted to share, and probably we will discuss later what kind of question you have to address yourself to take this opportunity.